Good evening, friends, and welcome to Friday night, episode 13 of QC Quarantine Concerts. For those of you that may not be super familiar with title of show, that was a little bit of the song, an original musical from the very top of title of show. And I'm here tonight with some really, really amazing friends of mine that we all had the opportunity to do title of show this time 5 years ago. Actually, I saw last week on Time Hop that last Friday night was our opening night. So it's super excited to be reunited with these friends, even virtually over the computer tonight. So I'm going to bring each one of them in, and then we're going to have a little bit of theater chats, hear some songs from the show, and just have a great time catching up about what a great experience this was. So let me bring on Stephen, James, Jeremiah Alsop, Jenna Tyrell, there we go, and Emily Hunter. Welcome, friends.
Hey.
So it's great to see all of you through the computer tonight and to have you with us for an episode and to get the whole crew back together for a night. I want you guys to share a little bit about, before we get started, if you could choose from 5 years ago, one of your favorite memories from the show. I know there's like a million of them. I know there were lots of really funny, exciting things that happened, but what would be one of the highlights from you from this experience from 5 years ago? Stephen, start us off.
So Jeremiah Alsop and I have been friends for an absurd amount of time. We did one of my very first musicals, and I think one of his very first. We did The Musical Adventures of Oliver Twist, a ripoff of the famous Oliver, up in Mooresville before the days of Gina Duckworth's Mooresville Community Children's Theater, where he played a dirty orphan boy, and I was one of the Fagan's boys, and he became one of my best friends years later, and to get to play best friends on stage with your actual best friend was, like, awesome.
Awesome.
And then, like, Emily and Jenna.
Yeah, that, of course, doing this show with my best friend. This is 15 years ago now, by the way. 15, which is wild. But yeah, it was also this was happening this spring. I was about to move to Chicago and go to college, and there was a lot of uncertainty around this time as well. And I would normally have been so stressed about that, but every weekend I got to go to the warehouse and do this stupid thing, this stupid great thing where the set was literally my bedroom. It was Cats posters, and I got to have such a good time, and everything went away. It was so fun, all of it.
Awesome. Emily.
I liked when me and Jenna had to move the box.
That was the best. It was so heavy.
When there was that scene in Monkeys and Playbills afterwards, and Melissa, our director, Melissa Ullman-Roberge, was like, okay, we need somebody to get this box off, and it was like a shoebox this size. She was like, Emily, Jenna, can you take that off? And we're like, I mean, do we both have to take it off? So we turn it into a bit.
Hey, and that's what you do, and that's what makes title of show so much fun. Awesome. Jenna.
I'm not new to theater, but I was new to Charlotte theater, just kind of getting back into it when I got the opportunity to do title show with these amazing people, all you amazing people. And it just, every moment, it sounds so cliche, but every moment we spent together was hilarious and fun and memorable from, if you're stage right at the warehouse, hanging in the kitchen, you can't go anywhere during intermission, or doing planks and sit-ups before we went on stage because we thought it was going to help us, but we were eating too much candy. It was really not helping anything, to just the fact that I could never remember my blocking and where to put my green chair. And I don't know, just everything about it was hilarious and wonderful and real. Even though we were playing characters, it felt very real. And that's why I loved it.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jenna. So I think that they all kind of said it best. It was definitely one of those experiences where if you don't know title of show, it really is just about these four friends hanging out doing this show, and get to do it with such a special group of people was an incredible opportunity that I know each of us will always, always remember. And tonight we have a couple special things that we're going to share. A few of my friends are going to sing from the show, and then there's an extra special thing that we're going to bring up at the very end of tonight's broadcast. So Stephen, to get us started, you're going to sing a little bit of Part of It All that you sang in the show as a duet, but you're going to bring it to us as a solo this evening. So I'm going to pop the rest of us out, and Stephen, whenever you're ready, take it away.
A part of studying a life that seems unstable, with a paycheck in my pocket to help me pay the rent. A part of being fine with splurging on the cable, and no more phone calls to unemployment. A part of ducking out before the show's finale to get to the opening night at Tavern on the Green. A part of my sheet music on sale in Schubert Alley, and a trendy photo shoot for a homo magazine. All our gay skills, filling playbills, will be part of it all. A part of a pricey meal at someplace chic in Midtown, with a view of a billboard hanging high above Times Square. A part of a house upstate to spend the week winding down, while our musicals are playing from Boston to Bel Air. If we need a quick VIP ticket to Wicked, we'll get it 'cause we're popular and part of it all. Part of it all, part of it all, part of it all, part of it all. There will come a day when we look back at the time we spent writing this very show, our attempt to stay above the derivative tricks and the critical undertow. Our show, though small, will have been part of it all. Part of fans to captivate, part of the press to navigate, part of lunch with Bernadette, part of a coat of marmoset, part of a night to stare at shore, super awesome Sardi's character, part of a war at MGM, part of a star in Bethlehem, part of it all, part of it all, part of it all. A part of dreading the day they post the closing notice. A part of wanting to throw the towel in now and then. A part of knowing that the way we'll stay afloat is to rise back up and just start over again. We'll be part of it all.
Awesome work. Thank you so much, Stephen. I'm going to bring the rest of our friends back in. So I want to bring up some comments here because our dear friend Emma Metzger, some of her most favorite people, I couldn't agree more. And then we got to throw some love right here to our friend Sierra Key. Sierra, happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Sierra!
I love you.
I'm so glad that even though we can't celebrate in person, Sierra, that we're able to get on here, recognize your birthday. I know you had a super cool Zoom call earlier. What a great way for the theater community to still rally together, however possible. One thing that I need to share now that I have all of you back in here, and this is one of my most favorite memories from the show, and I think that you will remember this one a little bit because it was the one moment that I got to have in the show with you guys. When I did a night.
I wish. I wish.
This
I
is
wish. Don't say that. Of course, we were meant to be married.
Jana, tell them.
Oh no. I messed up so bad.
Jenna, that was one of my favorite memories from the whole show. It was, I think, this was the first time we ever worked together, was title of show. And it made me laugh every night so much. Every night, it was a different line that I cut out on, and it just made it that much more real.
She did don't say that, of course, you were meant to have children. And then one night she just said, don't say that, of course, you were meant to be married.
What was
and then I just looked at her. I was like, that's
great.
I have no idea.
It was one of the best moments from the show. Stephen, another favorite memory of mine from this show was the food props. And I know Jonathan could tell us all about the food props in this show. Because every night it was egg McGriddle from McDonald's, it was a frozen sausage patty.
A pickle.
Hot Pockets.
Here's the pickle. Hot Pockets.
Hot Pockets.
There was a moment in the show where Emily's Hunter Heidi asks me, are you going to eat that pickle? And every night I would put the entire pickle into my mouth.
Because he wouldn't let me eat it.
I wouldn't.
So many food props, but so much fun. Another thing that was funny for me, Stephen and Jeremiah, you guys had the kind of stage left side dressing room backstage, and you were stuck over there for a long period of time before the show.
At least half an hour. At least. Because we never start on time either. Who does? But yeah.
Yep. And so anything you needed, anything you might need to do, sayonara. It was just, you were stuck.
There was a day Stephen, his razor died in the middle of him shaving his face. So he got halfway done and there was already an audience. We were about to start the show and I don't know how you got out of that, but that was.
I don't remember. I don't remember that at all.
I think Jonathan had to go rescue something from the drugstore, the gas
I
station.
think he was able to charge it and do it during intermission. So half of his face was scruffy.
That's good.
One.
I was never on that side of the social. I was always in the kitchen with Jeremiah and Zach. But we were in the kitchen always.
Always. And I know that this is something that every show has these backstage shenanigans. Every show has stuff that happens, but I think in such a small group like this, you never know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and you remember these things. I remember them like they were yesterday, some of them, and it's crazy how quickly they come back. And kind of on that theme, Emily, you are going to sing another song from that show to take us back to that really special place. I'm going to pop us all out because I'm probably going to cry. So we're going to all disappear for a little bit and let you sing our way back to it. Take it away.
Dancing in the backyard, Kool-Aid mustache and butterfly dreams, hearing Andrea McCardle sing from the hi-fi in the den. I've been waiting my whole life to find a way back to then. I aim for the sky, a 9-year-old can see so far. I'll conquer the world and be a star. I'll do it all by the time I'm 10. I would know that confidence if I knew a way back to then. So I bailed on my hometown and became a college theater dork. I was eastbound and down, moving to New York. So I crammed my life in a U-Haul to find my part of it all. But the mundane sets in, we play by the rules and plow through the days. The years take us miles away from the time we wondered when we'd find a way back to then. And when you least expect, opportunity walks through the door. You suddenly connect with the thing that you forgot that you've been looking for. And there you are, right in the middle of what you love, with the found a way back to there.
Awesome work, Miss Emily Hunter. And some love from our former stage manager who will not come downstairs because he wants to watch this and not be part of the broadcast. Thank you, Jonathan.
That's understandable. It's Jonathan.
Which is understand. Yes, as you know, because y'all have known each other for many, many, many years. So thank you, Emily.
Thank you.
So I'm going to give them a quick little break here because we're going to have another special guest join us who was our director for this show, Melissa Ullman-Roberge, who is coming to us now. I think that hello, Melissa, how are you?
Hey, I can't hear a thing you're saying.
You can't hear me at all.
I can't hear you at all. I feel like I've got everything turned up. I can hear Emily.
That's really strange. We're going to pop back in with you. If you want to try you still can. I'm going to send you a message. We'll be back. So we're going to try to pop back in with Melissa in a second. I'm going to bring back on our cast. Stephen, Jeremiah, let's bring everybody back, and there we go. So I am going to pop a message over to Melissa and ask her to leave the broadcast and try to come back. Sierra Key. Sierra Key's giving me life in the chat window here. So you guys, I want you to talk a little bit. Jenna, I know you mentioned that you have some stuff that's going on right now, some exciting projects, kind of even despite everything that's going on right now. Share some of that with us of things we can be looking forward to.
Sure. Yeah, well, we're all kind of at home and not getting to do everything that we want to do. I still have a few things going on and a few things decked up. I know Zach talked with Gina Duckworth with Mooresville Community Children's Theater. I'm on that board, and we're busy planning for our upcoming year and season. So that's really exciting, and I'm glad to be a part of that. I'm also a part of a concept album and an upcoming podcast of a local seniors original musical. So Lucas DeVore, hopefully many of you who are watching this broadcast know him. He's a senior up at Mooresville High, and he's written an original musical called Bucket List. Earlier this year, a bunch of us got together and recorded a concept album. And then recently he's been capturing our voice recordings of the script. And so I know he's going to be launching a podcast of this, the entire show of Bucket List. Hopefully everyone will tune into that. It'll be fantastic. It's a really amazing piece that Lucas has put together. And then third and final, I have high hopes that I'm going to get to be performing in Davidson Community Player's upcoming show of Sister Act. I got cast as Mother Superior, and I'm super excited. And we'll just see. Like all of us who have upcoming shows, we just have to wait and see. So stuff still going on, stuff to be hopeful for.
Yes, of course, a lot of stuff to be hopeful for. I'm going to pop Melissa in because I think that Melissa may be able to hear all of you except for me. So we will this is live technology. We make it work. So Melissa, can you hear everybody?
Yes.
So
I'm in the car driving. I can't. Loving seeing all of your beautiful faces.
Oh, ditto.
Let me turn you this way. There we go.
So
I'm curious what Melissa's favorite memory is from title of show.
Oh gosh, I was thinking because there were so many because I knew that we would ask. It's rare that you get to do a show where everybody gets along, everybody shares one ego, everybody is equally talented, equally committed, and this was one of those shows. From the four of you to Zach to Jonathan, helping us backstage. It just was one of those experiences where I don't really have anything negative at all that I remember. I only remember positive, great fun.
Awesome.
Miss you all.
Miss you too. Who's going to produce it next? That's my question. Where and when can we find somebody else to produce
so here's
the
thing. Kevin and I cleaned our garage not too long ago, and I think I still have all the props. so we can just do it again at the warehouse.
Food props?
All
I
right.
think I have all the props still.
You heard it first from Melissa right here. Title of show, the
I'm ready.
Melissa Oman
Remounting.
household.
Yep, ready.
Done. It's gonna happen. All right. Thanks so much, Melissa.
Hey, Jeremiah.
I didn't know I was muted. Oh.
All right. So I'm glad that Melissa was able to pop on. I hate that she couldn't hear me. Technology, I know it's rough, but we're making it work. So I know that Jenna shared with us some things that she's looking forward to coming up. I know that a lot of us, including myself, including Emily, Jeremiah, a lot of us have had stuff that's on hold right now, stuff that's we're waiting when we can get back to it. Do you guys have anything really kind of super exciting for those of us that, it's been 5 years since the show? Any exciting like journey updates, anything that you want to share? Everybody's pointing in Jeremiah's.
Now I've been, well, yeah, so this was 5 years ago. That's so crazy. But I was thinking too, while Emily was singing that song, this was right before I was about to move to Chicago. And now I haven't been back to Charlotte. And every night she would sing, "There you are, in the middle of what you love, craziest of company, having a kick-ass time." And I never took that for granted. Every time she sang that, I was like, oh, that's exactly what's happening right now. Oh, I love these people. But yeah, so I've been here in Chicago, which has been great. And hopefully in July, I'll be lucky enough. I was cast as Michael Mell in the Chicago production of Be More Chill, which will be super cool if we get to open. So right now that date is July 17th. If anyone can make it up to Chicago, totally come do that. It's cold and lonely. Yeah, but it's great. And I'll be a member of Actors Equity, which has been a goal for a while. So I'm excited.
Awesome.
Here we go.
Well, just know that your Title of Show fam will be there in Chicago to see that and to embarrass you. And if we could ever coordinate it on like the same trip, it would be even more magical.
Please, yeah, we'll make that happen.
Just know it's gonna happen. It's coming.
Let's do it.
We're gonna do it. We're committed to it.
Yeah.
All right. So I have a really cool thing. I'm gonna pop these guys back out because we're gonna go somewhere else here in just a second. So Steven headed up this little project this week when I asked this crew to come on here and to do an episode for us of Title of Show. So it's difficult with all this live stream stuff to try to all sing all across the airwaves, but Steven and his magical powers put this song together. It's the very, very last song in the show, 9 People's Favorite Thing. And so I'm going to try to play it now for us. We're going to see if this is going to work. We're trying all new technology, so we're just going to commit to it and we're going to see what happens. But hopefully here is 9 People's Favorite Thing featuring your cast of Title of Show.
We can either follow our instincts or take advice from every joker. We can either be distinct or wind up merely mediocre. But not me, not me. When we set out to write this musical, we said we'd write a show that we'd want to see. We knew we'd never please everyone. Remember that day at Christie's, you said to me, I'd rather be 9 people's favorite thing than 100 people's 9th favorite thing. 9 people's favorite thing than 100 people's 9th favorite thing.
Yeah, you're right, Jeffy, let's not compromise. Let's keep making something we've never seen. A risk was taken with On the Town, and look what happened. Betty and Adolf burst onto the scene. A shout out to Compton and Green. And when Bach and Harnick were writing Tenderloin, they were taking a risk to write a show about horse. When Kendra and Ed were working on the rink, I'd like to think at some point John looked at Fred and said, I'd rather be 9 people's favorite thing than 100 people's 9th favorite thing. 9 people's favorite thing than 100 people's 9th favorite thing.
When you handed me the first draft of the show, I'll admit I was a little bit talk. But I'm not giving up on you guys until all of us have learned to knit on the bus and truck. On the bus and truck. And who says 4 chairs and a keyboard can't make a Broadway musical? We're enough with only that keyboard. We're okay with only 4 chairs. We'll be fine with only 4 chairs. We'll rock hard with only 4 chairs. Oh. Ooh, oh. Oh. I am 8 years old in Ohio. It is time for the annual church bazaar. There is a cake baking contest. I'm going to be a big star. But I don't want to make a German chocolate and a 7-layer I'll never complete. So I show up with pride this morning with my tray of Rice Krispie treats. And they try to push them aside, say that they are too strange to compete. And sure, most of the judges award the red velvet, but one picks the Rice Krispie treat. Let our show be the Rice Krispie treat. I'd rather be 9 people's favorite thing than 100 people's 9th favorite thing. 9 people's favorite thing than 100 people's 9th favorite thing.
Those 9 people will tell 9 people. Then we'll have 18 people loving the show. Then 18 people could grow into 525,600 people. All loving our show. And maybe someday, if we're lucky enough, we'll all be in the studio recording the show. 10 years from now, when we play the cast album, this is Trump on the CD will remind us why we'd rather be 9 people's favorite thing, 100 people's favorite, 9 people's favorite thing, than 100 people's 9 favorite thing. So the decision's made and we're on our way. If we may lose or maybe we might be 9 people's favorite thing.
9 people's favorite when we open tonight. Tonight.
Awesome work, cast. Stephen, thank you so much for putting that together. You are a star. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to put the rest of us back in. I asked Stephen
We did
before
a thing.
You're right.
to share that link with us. So, Stephen, I know you'll be sharing that. So if you want to go back and you want to watch that, not without the super fun technology lag, but with all of its crystal clear brilliance and glory, it will be available to watch.
Public now for you, Zach, so you can share the link wherever you want to share it.
Perfect. I will share it with this post after we finish up tonight. Thank you, Stephen. So before we leave tonight, we have just a few more minutes, but I wanted to circle back to everybody one more time. If you could go back and do this show now, what would you tell yourself and your character being 5 years older, 5 years more mature? What advice would you give to yourself in doing this show again?
Well, first of all, I will say that when making that video, it took hours and hours and hours, and so many tears were shed just because like this time with these 3 people and you and Chani and Melissa was so special. It still stands and will probably always stand as one of my favorite experiences on stage. So that's that. Honestly, I would probably just tell myself to savor the moment, because not long after this, I think of my years as shows. So this was right before Cats. Right after Cats, I moved to New York. So right after this, Jeremiah left, I left, and we all kind of separated a little bit. I mean, Emily and Jenna have held down the fort and have been the rock that kept us all 4 together. But like, honestly, I would just tell myself to savor the moment because it's still very special.
Yes, for sure. Jeremiah.
Yeah. I mean, it was such a good time. I think even as much fun as we had, I would tell myself to have even more fun because there's still so much, as much as I could relax when we were doing it, there was so much I was in my head about, and I still was insecure until we opened about being so young with the rest of these people. And I wish I could go back and just say, like, or if we're doing it again, just trust and remember. I mean, we all have each other. They taught me that. Like, this group of people really, this gave me so much confidence and has so helped me in life. But yeah, I'd say that just to have more fun, not think about the high notes, not whatever, just do it.
Awesome. Emily.
I saw the original title of show the night before it closed on Broadway. And I was going through a really, really difficult time. I was in New York actually to interview for a job, not a theater or anything, just like a big city corporate job. And I saw that. And when Heidi Blickenstaff sang A Way Back to Then, I was like, I'm not going to New York. I'm staying in Charlotte, and it might be a small pond, but I'm going to do what I love to do. And when I got the opportunity to do that show, because it's just connected and resonated with me forever. So honestly, I wouldn't change anything. It was just it was a dream. It was a dream come true. And I met my husband like during that time. And like, I mean, like like all of these memories that I have, I don't think I would want to do anything differently.
Awesome. Awesome. And Jenna.
You made me go last after everyone makes me cry. Number one, that's not fair.
Sorry, Jenna.
I, like everyone, don't know how much I would change aside from agreeing with Jeremiah that I wish that I could have more confidence in myself. Being the oldest in the group, I should have that maybe, but I don't. And I think that that's one of the things that made personally this show very memorable for me is that I resonated very much with the character. Susan doesn't trust in her voice and doesn't believe that she's the singer. I still don't think I'm a singer, but I sure as hell love dancing and acting the music of the show with the people that I got to be on the stage with. So, man, I would do this show forever, every night with this group of people because it would be new and fresh and special. Man, so much love. So much love.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jenna. I know that it's probably not fair if I don't also answer that question since I was on stage in this entire show. I think the one thing for me is that, this was, this was 5 years ago. So this was right before Jonathan and I got married. And it was a crazy, crazy, crazy time and the show and everything and life was, all this kind of stuff. And I think that one thing for me is that I would not question doing a show with kind of my partner and now my husband. We've done a lot of shows together since then. There's that weird spot where you're working on a show together where it's like, okay, who tells who what to do? And like, do I jump down his throat for something? Does he tell me, your tempos were horrible tonight? Like, and then like navigating that relationship behind the scenes and stuff. So I think that's one thing that just really to let go of that and really just to trust that we're both in the right places where we're supposed to be. Him is an incredible stage manager and it was his first time stage managing that show, and really just to let go and to enjoy getting to work on a show with somebody that I love and with all of you people that I love. And I think that if I just didn't worry so much in my own head, that I would have been able to really just relax into it. I see that Melissa's coming in here, and Melissa's going to join us for her little comment here. What she always says, always be present. And that is a perfect Melissa Roberge moment. We've about wrapped up our time tonight, guys. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. It's been a wonderful trip down memory lane. It's been great to see all of you here over the computer screen. I appreciate you sharing these stories, sharing this music. And from my house to your house, have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you guys later.
Yes, love
Love
you.
you all.
Love you.
Thanks for organizing.